Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Scott Leonard. Back at it again. I don't think I've ever done this before, but I thought it would be good to start 2025 with a little bit of a yap session here for you guys. Oh man, where do I start? So, it's a new year. Most of you guys are starting to make your New Year's resolutions, hoping for the best, making your goals, planning out what you're gonna do for the year, and I'm right there with you guys, man. I've been doing the same thing. Me and my girl sat down yesterday. We wrote down our New Year's resolutions. To be honest, I just grabbed my resolution from last year, tried to check off the goals I actually met last year, transfer the ones that I didn't meet over to 2025. But I have to tell you guys one thing, and it's something that most people aren't gonna tell you, and that is that if you didn't start working on your goals before the year started, you're probably not going to make those goals. Most people love to think that every year they can just restart and magic's gonna happen. Somehow they're gonna get the willpower to accomplish all of their biggest desires. I have to tell you that's not true. It's not true. Every single goal on my list was something that I already started working on before 2025. Not just because a lot of them were stuff from the previous year, but even the stuff that was new, I thought to myself, no, I can't just wait until the 31st and magically the next day think that I'm gonna be able to stick to these goals and actually accomplish them. So I actually started working on them. Maybe some of them months before. For example, some of the fitness goals were goals that I started working on months before. But even some other personal goals, if I'm gonna try and change my whole fucking routine, my whole personality to meet goals that I just made up, I'm gonna fail. So I wanted to put together a little video for you guys for 2025, just something different from what I normally do. I have been live streaming, and live streaming is one of the goals that I put out for myself this year. I want to live stream every single day of the year with no missed days, no excuses, which means that if I'm sick, I'm gonna stream. If I'm not home, I'm gonna stream. Unless I'm in a hospital bed, unconscious with no access to the internet, I'm gonna stream at least once a day. I can't sit here, honestly, in front of you guys, getting frustrated about, oh, I don't know why I haven't grown my social media. I don't know why guys like Neon, guys like iShowSpeed, guys like Kai Sanat, guys like Pog, Envy, weirdos, all these fucking weird people have blown up on the internet. People who have probably less talent or less entertaining, and I haven't. The truth is, the reason I haven't is because I have been lazy. You know, I've been lazy. I haven't put in the effort. I haven't done the research. I haven't done the footwork. I haven't done collaborations with other people who are growing their platform. I have kind of laid back for the past year, barely making any content until the end of the year. This whole streaming routine, when did I start this? I started it maybe in November, mid-November. Why didn't I start doing this from the beginning of the year? Why? Because for some reason, I hesitated on making a decision to stream before I moved to my new apartment. And the reason I didn't stream in the old place, in my old house, was because I was coping. I was like, oh, I don't want to stream in this house because the background is going to be lame, yada, yada, yada. And now in retrospect, I realized all of that was a cope. I should have been streaming since day one. You live and you learn, as some people might say, but there's no reason to make excuses. And me looking at guys like Neon, you know, for the first time ever, I sat down and I watched the Neon stream a few days ago, and I literally could only stand 10 minutes of the stream because he was so uninteresting. I talked to my brother about it, and his point of view was that, well, Neon already made it, so perhaps he just, normally in the beginning he wasn't like that, but now he is like that. But I think that he probably was like that to a certain degree all the time. He was on his phone probably 80% of the video, barely engaging with chat, just kind of sitting back on his laurels, you know? And like I said, I don't know, I haven't been watching Neon since the very beginning, so I don't know how his streams normally were, or maybe I just caught a bad stream. But to me, it seems very uninteresting, and it made me think like, well, why is this guy famous and I'm not? But there is a reason why he's famous and I'm not. Because he consistently posts. Whether he has a good stream, whether he has a bad stream, every single day he fucking streams. He posts something. There's some sort of piece of content that Neon is producing that's coming out. On the contrary, in my case, I had excuses. For me, there was an excuse every single day. Oh, nobody's hanging out today, so I'm not gonna go out and film a vlog. Oh, I don't wanna drive this far because it's not worth it. I don't wanna put miles on the car. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I don't have any ideas for today. Excuse after excuse after excuse. If the opportunity wasn't there to film content with the car, I could have pivoted to other content. Just like I'm streaming now and reacting to stuff that's not even related to cars. And it's getting views, it's getting just as many views as the car videos, if not more. It just shows me that that stuff was excuses and I was holding myself back. My point is that I could have been creating content the whole time and I hesitated. The same thing with the merch shop. For those of you guys who don't know, I have a merch website. It's carbuddha.com, and I haven't been promoting it at all. Maybe the first 2-3 weeks after I created the site, I promoted it heavily, and I got sales. I made almost $400 in sales, but I stopped promoting it. I stopped creating designs. I stopped sharing the link. So it's on me. It all falls back to me. If I feel like I don't have the time or energy to do something, then I need to learn how to delegate to other people. I can't just sit back and say, oh, I'm just too tired. It's just too much stuff. I'm just too tired. I can't promote this right now, because then at the end of the year, I faced what I faced yesterday, where I realized, okay, I have the merch site. It took days and days, weeks to set it up. I set up every aspect of the site. I have the designs, I set up the shipping, I set up the billing process, I set up the Shopify, I set up the Facebook, Instagram Meta Shop. I did everything I needed to do to get this site up and running, except for promote it. So then what was the point? Luckily, the site is still up. I've been paying whatever the monthly Shopify cost is, which is eating into the profits that I made from the sales of the product. But like I said, this year, it's gonna be different. We're gonna push the site. We're gonna spend time, and if not time, money, hiring other people to promote the site. If I can't do it, then I'm gonna have to hire someone else to do it. But my point is that I have to do it. So I'm yapping here, guys. What I want to say is that if you guys have goals, it's all on you. You can't sit back and expect the goals to come to fruition by themselves. If you're not putting in the effort, if you're not taking the time out of your day to focus on your goals, the goals will not happen. I promise you, the goals will not happen. Perfect example, I have buddies that also want to become software engineers or want to become YouTubers, and I watch them, I observe their behavior, and I say it all the time. If you're going to say you want to become a YouTuber and you post once a month a video that is not even edited, it had no direction, and you didn't promote it, you will never ever reach the goal of becoming a successful YouTuber. Look, I don't consider myself a successful YouTuber at all. I don't even consider myself a YouTuber, and I have 2,600 followers on here. There's guys that have 500 followers, 300 followers, 200 followers, and they are wondering why they're not growing their channel, and they're doing less than me. They're posting once a month, short videos that are 3-4 minutes long. They're not talking at all. They're not putting themselves out there, and they expect to get results. You're never gonna get results. I'm sorry. You're wasting your time. If you're not gonna put 100% into the effort needed to reach that goal, you might as well not even start. I'm just keeping it real. Most people don't wanna hear that. Most people wanna hear the opposite. They wanna hear the cope where you're told, oh, just keep going. Even if you're posting once a month, Just keep the consistency up and you'll make it. That's a lie. It's a lie. This is a numbers game, and you need to put 100% into it to get a result. The same thing with programming. I have buddies who want to become software engineers, and I hear them talking about, oh, I'll put 2 hours a week in to learning. I'll put an hour a day into learning. If you do that, I assure you, you will not ever become an engineer. Or if you do, you'll become an engineer 10 years from now. When I was learning how to code, when I was learning how to become a software engineer, I literally put an additional 8 hours into it. I would, first of all, at my old job while working, I wouldn't even pay attention to my old job. I would sit there during the job, in between calls, in between emails, reading about software engineering. Let me rephrase that. What I mean is, at work, during my job, the entire time I was unhappy, and I knew I was unhappy, so I focused all my free time on learning how to code. At work, any instant of free time I had, I spent it on learning how to code. I didn't fucking joke around with coworkers. I didn't fucking look at YouTube videos about other topics in my free time on my lunch break. Every instant was used learning how to code. And when I got off work and I got home, as soon as I got home, you know what I did? I opened my computer up, I opened up Xcode, I went to swift.org, and I studied until 1 in the morning, writing code, practicing code, watching videos about code. And that's the reason why now I make almost $200,000 a year, because I fucking put in the time, I put in the effort. I became obsessed with my goals. In order to meet your goals in this life, you need to become obsessed with your goals. Even if it's something that you're not passionate about, you can trick your brain into becoming obsessed with your fucking goals. If you're not obsessed, you're not gonna make it. And if you're not delusional, you're not gonna make it. Me and my brother had a whole argument about this a few days ago. If you're not obsessed with your goals, you're not going to make it. And if you're not delusional, you're not gonna make it either. Look, for those of you guys who don't know, I don't know where you're coming from. You might be coming from a different channel, or maybe you were suggested this video some other way. But I have one of my dream cars, the McLaren 570S. Before that, I had my first dream car, a Porsche 718 Spider. And you know why I got those cars, how I got those cars? It was by being delusional. My first car was a Mitsubishi Eclipse, a 2009 Mitsubishi Eclipse. It was a complete piece of shit car, trash. And I drove that car around, and in my head, in my mind, I always saw myself in a more exotic car. And my brother would say, "You're an idiot, that's a piece of shit car. Why are you acting like that? Why are you taking such good care of that car? It's a piece of shit. Why are you fucking comparing it to this and that? It's a piece of shit." And you know what? I was able to sell that car and get a brand new Mazda Miata, the last generation Mazda Miata, soft top. And when I got that car, that was also a piece of shit, you know? It was an entry-level sports car, but in my mind, I treated it as if it was a fucking Ferrari. I treated it like it was a Ferrari. I washed it every day. I was completely delusional, you know? Completely delusional. And in my mind, I said, one day, I'm gonna see myself in an exotic. What happened a year later, 2 years later, I traded that car in for another ND Miata. This time it was the RF, the most expensive one they have. And my brother kept shitting on me. "Oh, that's a piece of shit. That's a $45,000 car. That's garbage. That's trash, dude. Like, why are you acting like you have some sort of like exotic car or something? Why?" And I started going to car shows too when I got that car. Why are you taking that to car shows? It's a piece of shit. It's not even 50K. It's a garbage car. It's slow. But in my mind, I knew that one day I would have a better car than that. And that's when, in reality, I got super motivated and super disciplined. I buckled down on my goals. I started reading. And when I say reading, I didn't read self-help books. I just meant reading in general. I got off the internet and I started just reading books. Non-fiction, fiction, it didn't matter. Reading books, getting my attention span to grow, getting rid of the TikTok brain, because so many of you guys have that TikTok rot, TikTok brain. Getting rid of my TikTok brain, focusing, getting an attention span, to the point where my attention span got long enough where I could sit down and watch long, boring technical videos about coding. I could read technical manuscripts about programming languages and coding syntax, and I was able to teach myself how to code because I started step by step building myself up. And in fact, even learning how to code, I was delusional. My brother, my dad, everyone around me told me, "You're wasting your time. Why are you learning this? Just get a second job." And I said, "No, I'm not." And I buckled down on the coding. And the day I got my first job offer, I told my dad, I told my brother, "Oh, I'm gonna get a job making over 100K. And they laughed at me. They thought I was crazy. And I turned the tables on them when I showed them the contract, I signed it, and I got my first programming job making 6 figures, you know, because I was delusional. Then I started working on my credit. Again, my credit score was like 400, trash credit score. But I focused, I buckled down, I became delusional, I became obsessed, looking at my score every day, and now I have an extremely high credit score. I have a stack of credit cards, all of them with no balances. I follow very strict rules with my finances, and I have over $100,000 in available credit. Why? Because I was delusional, and I was obsessed, and I was focused on my goals. Back to the car. So one day I was watching a video about different Porsches. I still was at my old job, and I told one of my coworkers, "Hey, one day I'm gonna get this car." They laughed at me. Guess what? 2 years later, I had the car. A Porsche 718 Spider. Why? Because I was delusional and obsessed, and I worked extremely hard to reach that goal. Next, I targeted the McLaren. 4 months before I got my McLaren, I went to Festival of Speed here in Orlando, and I bought a McLaren jacket. And I was with a few friends, and they laughed at me. They said, "Oh man, why are you buying that jacket, man? Why are you buying a McLaren jacket? You ain't gonna get a McLaren ever in your life. Why are you spending money on that?" And I told them, "Look guys, you guys might not think that I'm gonna get a supercar, a real legit supercar, but I promise you, this is the first step in getting my McLaren." And literally 4 months after buying that jacket, I bought the jacket in December of last year, and I had the supercar in April of last year. Why? Because I deluded myself into becoming obsessed with reaching my goal. The point of this video is that if you have goals that you want to meet in 2025, you need to start them today if you haven't already started before the year begun. If you don't start immediately, you're not going to do it. Second thing is, you need to not have motivation. Forget motivation. You need to have discipline. Whether you want to do something or not, you need to do it. You need to force yourself to get out of the house, get out of the bed, get off of TikTok, and get to working on your goals. If you don't have discipline, you're not going to make it. The fourth thing, or maybe it's the third thing, I don't know, I lost track, is you need to be obsessed. You need to trick your brain into thinking that you're enjoying this thing that you're doing, even if you don't enjoy it. You need to force yourself to do it. And you need to do it so often that you start thinking that you are enjoying it. For me, it's been coding, it's been fitness, it's been editing videos. Those 3 things, if somebody watches me doing them, they'll think that I enjoy those 3 things, but in reality, I've just tricked my brain into thinking that I enjoy it. I've told myself so many times that I enjoy doing it, that it's become a reality. Even though in the beginning, I hated doing all those 3 things. I hated coding, but I told myself, I like coding, I love coding, I love coding, I love coding. Every time I sat down to code, even if I was having a miserable time, I told myself, I love coding, I'm having fun. Working out, the same thing. I told myself I'm having fun working out, I enjoy it. The same thing with video editing. And now those 3 things have been stuff that I do at least a few times a week, and I actually do think that I've begun to enjoy it. So you need to become deluded and obsessed and think that you're enjoying the thing that you are doing even if you don't. And that will help you with your discipline. And then the last thing is being deluded. When you sit down to learn how to code, you have to think to yourself, I'm the best coder. When you sit down to make your videos, you need to think, I'm the best, I'm the biggest YouTuber, I'm the best YouTuber. Whatever it is you're doing, you need to trick yourself into thinking that you're the best at it. You need to tell other people that you're the best at it. I guess this comes down to being the fucking fake it till you make it, but you're not faking it. You're really putting in the time, you're really putting in the effort. But you need to tell other people that, because remember that your personality, the personality of all human beings, comes from the reflection that other people throw back at you of yourself. So if everybody around you thinks that you're a baller, you'll become a baller. But if everyone around you thinks you're a loser, you'll become a loser. If you surround yourself with fucking losers, you'll be a loser. If you surround yourself with people that are ballers, you'll be a baller. My point is that you need to bring yourself to where you want to be. No one's going to take you there. No, you're not going to get a knock on the door one day. Excuse me, sir. You want this McLaren? Here. You've won this McLaren. You've won this girl, this girlfriend. You've won this job. That's never going to happen to you. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort. And with that, I'm going to say good luck in 2025. And if you are new to the channel, if you've never watched any of my videos and you landed here somehow through some miracle of the algorithm, which is not really a miracle, I've been posting every single day consistently. But if you got here randomly and you like the message you just heard, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it, guys. And with that, I will let you guys go. Enjoy your 2025. Hopefully I catch you in 2026 and you're at your goals. If not, I don't know what to say. Hopefully you learn from your mistakes and you're able to improve in 2026. Anyways, it's your boy Scott Leonard. I'm out.